Ladies and gentlemen, we got a Odd-Eyes deck profile. What's up, everybody? Okay, I got an update on my Odd-Eyes deck profile. I kind of waited until the Dark Neostorm set came out because there was a spell card in there called Pendulum Halt, and I wanted to add this to the deck before I continued it. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be disappointed in this deck profile, only because I do not have Guard Dragons. I decided to want to keep it kind of like purish, just to kind of have more fun with it. Although dueling with this deck has gotten me a lot of wins in the past couple weeks with the people around here at Yu-Gi Boom. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. I'm going to go start off with 3 Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragons. And yes, I'm using the one with the artwork where it's showing its back, because as long as you watch his back, he got your back. So, and next to him is his homie, the Odd-Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. You see, there's a lot of back puns that I can use here because arc, but I'm not going to. Alright, after that we run 2 Odd-Eyes Phantasma Dragon. This is the one that came out in the manga. He's alright decently for the scale because you can drop a monster, or you could drop a card in the graveyard to add a pendulum from your extra deck that's face up, which is pretty neat sometimes if you need to recycle. Otherwise, his other effect is he's able to special summon himself if you have a 2 pendulum zone or 2 cards in the pendulum zone, so you could easily get him out really if you have that. But you cannot pendulum summon any other monsters. So if this is like the only card in your hand, then you could go ahead and get him out there. He has a big attack thing, you know? He has a big butt. We have your 2 negators, Odd-Eyes Persona Dragon. Now, Odd-Eyes Persona Dragon is really cool because he negates anything from the extra deck that your opponent has. I usually try to get 2 of these off on field, and yeah, they always get mad. 3 Chronograph Sorcerer. At this point, I don't know why I actually have him in here other than the fact that when something gets destroyed, he could summon himself as a free special summon monster. Great for Xyz plays for rank 6s, or if you just want to link them away for something better. Alright, then we're going to start off with our 3 homeboys, the Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, and then his homie, the Donut. You send him to the graveyard. When he dies, he summons himself back to the field, so you could grab a donut before he goes away again, because you just want to use him to link summon away for Electromite. But otherwise, yeah, we got a couple cards that get him in there very quickly. I could even cut him down to 1 and add like the, what was that one other card? The, Pankratops. That's right. We can add Pankratops if you wanted to remove them, because it's easy to get them out really fast. Alright, we're gonna run our 2 Performapal Odd-Eyes cards. Thank God that they also have the Odd-Eyes name in there, because then you can search them out with any Odd-Eyes cards. And it's also a Performapal, which doesn't really matter with this deck, but I mean, Performapal. Okay. This guy, Odd-Eyes Synchron does your synchros, and then this guy, Dissolver does your fusions. Basic stuff. Alright, and then for the one-up, Abyss Actor Crit and Razor. He's really good because you could just put him in the Pendulum Scale, special summon him for free, as long as you have no monsters on the field. It is once per duel, that's why I only run the 1. Also, a new card that I'm putting in the deck is Odd-Eyes Advanced Dragon. Odd-Eyes Advanced Dragon is just a sick-looking dragon monster, if I'm being completely honest. He has a really dope effect where if he destroys a monster in battle, he can special summon a monster in defense mode from the graveyard. Now, that won't happen super often because you're running a pendulum deck, but at the same time, if you do have something in there, if you have, let's say, your Xyz Odd-Eyes where you have to detach and stuff and you have a bunch of stuff in the graveyard, he comes in handy because he could give you a free monster back to link away for whatever you want. Or if you would just want extra Odd-Eyes monsters, I don't know, dude, do what you want to do. I don't know, it's not my deck, it is, but don't do it. Alright, and then the last monsters, which I don't really consider monsters, more hand-trappy, is the classic Effect Veiler. I don't know, but Effect Veiler's been working out a lot for me lately. I don't know what it is, but just saying no to whatever your opponent wants to use is pretty funny. I run 3 because sometimes you kind of need that extra one to just say to stop your opponent. At this point in time, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of one of those games where you just can't let your opponent play. And Effect Veiler works. Easy for budgets. Alright, now we're gonna get into the spells. I'm gonna start off with two spells, one-ofs. We have Foolish Burial and Dragon Shrine. Foolish Burial and Dragon Shrine are for the Dark Worms, or you can even use Dragon Shrine to send an Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon to the graveyard. Since it's still considered a normal monster, you can send another dragon into the graveyard as well. This actually can combo well off with the new Odd-Eyes card that I just showed off, the Advanced Dragon, because like I mentioned beforehand, when he destroys a monster on your opponent's field, he can't special summon a monster in defense mode from your graveyard. So if you end up having an extra Dragon Shrine, that's another purposeful use for it, other than, you know, thinning your deck out and not drawing the cards that you don't want. So that's why I run these two. Alright guys, and for the one-of spell card, I also run Raigeki. A lot of people don't run Raigeki anymore because it's not really, I guess, favorable in your situation with a lot of monsters getting effects off the graveyard if they get destroyed, or it's simply just having protection, you know, from being destroyed. But there are some people that play trick stars like Brent. I'm watching you, dude. It's funny because I actually dueled him like a week ago, and he was able to establish a really huge board, and I was able to just draw into Raigeki and just destroy everything he had. As a trick star player, I think that I really hurt him. But anyways, that's it for Raigeki. It comes in clutch when you need it to, but you don't need to run it. Another one-of is Odd-Eyes Fusion. Odd-Eyes Fusion is one of those spell cards that comes in handy first turn, or if you're going second and you end up having Odd-Eyes Fusion, or you can search it out. If your opponent ends up, you know, going overboard by summoning multiple monsters, you can get yourself a Vortex in one turn. And that's kind of on their fault. This is kind of like a backup if you do go second. Otherwise, this is still a good card to just get Vortex out. I run 2 Vortexes for the extra deck, so again, it's just a handy card. I only run the 1 because you don't really need to run 2. That's really it. And now for the new card is Pendulum Halt. Pendulum Halt is a really good card just for pendulums in general. I think this is something that we definitely needed for just any pendulum deck. It basically allows you to draw 2 cards by simply having 3 face-up extra deck pendulum monsters on top of your extra deck. And but the one thing you gotta note is, if you activate this card, you can't search or draw any more cards. So you want to use this last. You do all your searching, all your drawing if you can, and then you activate this last. That's kind of like your last, you know, consistency stuff. Yeah. Also, to add to consistency, we have 2 Duelist Alliance. Yeah, we only run the 2 because of the restriction that it comes with. You're only allowed to activate once per turn, so if you end up having 2 in your hand or something, it's a dead card. 2 is good. I haven't had any issues with it. Again, you have a lot of cards that, you know, search out and draw, so that's just extra. And I only run the 2 because I run 3 Allure of Darkness. I still do not have a super or a hollow version of this other Allure of Darkness, but maybe one day. Alright, now we're going to get to the next few cards that we got going on. 3, Spiral Flame Strike. This searches out your Odd-Eyes, but not only that, if you control an Odd-Eyes card, you can just pop a card on the field, which comes in handy. No one ever expects that, and it's funny when I have to show them the card. I just go, check it out. Alright, we have 3 more cards here, and it's Sky Iris. You thought I was going to run an Odd-Eyes deck without it? Y'all crazy. A Sky Iris protects your Pendulum Scales, and it lets you search out all your Odd-Eyes stuff, including your Performance House stuff, which is, coincidentally, you know, you have 2 of those that are also Odd-Eyes. But yeah, Sky Iris, last spell card. I don't run anything to search it out because you're thinning out your deck so often that you don't really need to search this thing out. You usually end up just drawing it. So that's my excuse for not running Terraforming. And I don't want to add more cards to the deck because shut up. Alright. Now we're going to get on to the extra deck. The extra deck hasn't really changed all that much from the last time. Although I don't even really remember what I was playing because I'm always changing this thing up. But we're going to get started off with the Link monsters. We're going to just get off with the one-ofs right here. We run 1 Wee Witch, 1 Underclock Taker, and 1 Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. This is at 1. I haven't found something for this one yet. Again, I usually go into the Vortex Dragon anyways and the Xyz stuff more often. I usually go into Electromite more often than anything. Wee Witch is just kind of there in case I need another 2 pointing things for my extra deck. And that's basically it. Now for our fusions, we run 2 Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon because he's busted. And then we run the 1 Pendulum Halt Gatling Ghoul. Now, I like going into Gatling Ghoul if they have like a low amount of life points because all this guy does is really just burn. You get him out there on the field, you burn 200 points of damage for every card that's on the field, and usually if you know you're going for late game, they can't really do anything to stop that. It's kind of like Trick Stars in 1 card, sort of, and it's not annoying, Brent. Alright, and now we're running our Synchros. I run Beals because he's annoying. You gotta bounce him. What can I say? We got Odd-Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon because he's an Odd-Eyes, and I never go into him, but sometimes he does come in handy if I really need him to, you know? Having him summon on the field and summoning other stuff, he's just an option. And then Ignister because we're running a Pendulum deck. Alright guys, now we're gonna get into the Xyz. Odd-Eyes Absolute Dragon, what can I say? He's busted, broken, he negates your attack, he negates your opponent's attack. I mean, yeah, and then he gets a monster from the graveyard, an Odd-Eyes one. They all watch each other's backs. We got Norito the Morale Leader, a rank 6 for your Chronograph, which is a level 6. You get both of them out, get him out, negate a spell or trap. What's up? Then we got number 11, Big Eye, Mr. Serial Girl, because he steals all your opponent's monsters if you want him to. Then I run the 1 Odd-Eyes Raging Dragon, and I only run him for the fusion spell card so I can dump him if I am going second. That's just like a safe proof way to automatically get my Vortex Dragon. And I apologize, I didn't realize this was off center. The last monster I run is Castel, the Sky Blaster Musketeer. I like him because he bounces things once per turn. And yeah, that's it. If you guys like this deck profile, make sure to give it a like. Leave some comments down below if you would change any cards. I want to know what your guys' opinions are. Follow us on our social medias. We got Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I don't know. You do the math. Yeah. Oh, and one last thing I want to show off is this Magic the Gathering mat that I'm borrowing right now is signed. It's pretty cool. Cool. Catch you later.